What is going on, students? This is definitely Cassidy, aka The Scholar, and I just got back from BCS Atlanta, which I just top 32'd in, my first official Bushiroad top, so hopefully the start of many, but I'm so thankful and honored to bring you guys a little quick tournament report from the weekend, as I only played Premium, because that's what we're here for, in all honesty, right? But the weekend was fantastic. Shout out to everybody who topped, first and foremost, but in particularly, my teammate Logan, Connor, Marshall, Robert, and Joens, as well as some other homies like Jake and Bree and anybody else I'm forgetting. I know my brain is fogged. I've been doing a bunch of stuff, getting school and everything set up since I've been back, but it's been fantastic, and I'm really excited to bring you all this. But before we do, if you guys do want to go check out these links over here, first, if you guys want to go shop with my team sponsor, Kingslayer Cards, use the promo code SCHOLAR, save 5% off on your order. Not only does it support me and the channel, but also supports my team sponsor and one of the best stores in community, and most importantly, gets you cardboard. So please go shop with them. And of course, if you need any of the beautiful mats, sleeves, deck boxes, the whole 9 yards, please go shop with everybody over at dankritual.com. They will keep you in the game, and actually have some very exciting Year of the Dragon stuff coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. But I'm just going to go through today, just kind of go through the deck list, go through my matchups, and then go for what I think the meta is kind of going to shift toward going forward. So let's just get on with it. So pretty much the list really hadn't changed since the one I topped with at the shop challenge, so it's just still 3 Peony, 3 Asha, 2 Enlargolv, and then the 1 ladder. I still don't need the V Asha. The V Asha still has yet to really come up for me. Like, it's been a win more card, if anything, like, if I were to call it, but like, I think it's perfectly fine, and I rather have the ride consistency, especially in a Bushiroad best of one. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the ride consistency in the grade 2 slot, which is where you would have to cut the card to have it be applicable. So I don't need a Vyasha, but if you want to play a Vyasha, you can to make more tokens, but it never really came up. And then I'm playing 4 of the Anelma, 4 of the Horticulture Elf, and then of course 2 Silva. I felt like very comfortable playing 10 grade 2s, and then just being able to draw cards and stuff like that has been really good with the Anelma. So go Ura. And then grade 1s still the same. 4 of the best card in the game, 4 of free, 5th copy of free but gives us soul, so that way we can get some resources if we need it. Broken PG that can recycle itself with the G Guardian, and then the Elementaria, of course. So yeah, everything's very, very, very standard here, very, very like cut and dry list. And then, you know, here we got 9 crits. This is what's changed. I did some thought process where it's like, does the 15k matter over a 10? And it did. Actually, a few times this weekend when I had this card. So I'm very glad that I had the little acorn, Happy Lucky, over the other 3rd draw, as well as this also critted my opponent one time, which was also very helpful. So this card came up over it being a draw, just helped me close games faster, which I liked. So like in the best of one, you have to be a little bit more sacky, but that's perfectly fine because you're still playing 6 defensive draws, 7 including the over trigger, and then of course just your 4 heals, the OT, and then your starter. The G-Zone did change a little bit though from the shop challenge, and I'm going to explain all of those choices now, just because of some thought processes. So of course, what doesn't change is the 3 Katrina and the 2 Cyclone. Your win con right here, pretty much. 2 of the Aberrea. I actually strode this only like once or twice during the entire event. I went second all of my games by choice just because this is so good. And that I think you can kind of beat any deck for the grade 2, because what they're going to do is they're going to get an okay stride going first. You're going to get a broken stride going second. So yeah. Free like that. Of course, the Harmonics. Inverno to recycle cards. Ladislava to have pieces. This can be anything. Like, seriously, like, none of these other strides came up. I didn't stride into any of these today, or any of those on Sunday, because I didn't run into any Mega Colony. So there's some grace in that. The first real card, though, I want to talk about is this. I think that every Neo Nectar list should be playing this card. Now, it does have to like discipline you to when to activate a Carpet Maiden and when to not. But the fact that this card can be on the Maiden of Stampione, a 48k guard, is crazy, because in the mirror this helps you live. And what I came up especially, so I wanted a card just to help me guard against the mirror a little bit better too, when they like try to do the horticulture elf, when they try to like clap back at you, when they can go like, okay, like 20 and then 45k, well this can guard for 48. So one card guard again, like not having to commit extra cards is huge. So that's kind of like my whole thought process there. And then the Rain Breath, I wish I knew the Hanali ruling. The Hanali ruling I'll get to in a second with this card. Nothing changes like the integrity of the Hanali, but I just like a misplay. And then of course 3 of these. So everything is really standard. This is the big thing I'd always encourage Neo-Nectar players to do moving forward, is play the copy of Ontero. You have your ways to replenish your soul, ways to like control your soul very well. So just doing that is very beneficial. So I so much so encourage you all to do that. So we'll just have the little quick shield here just to talk about my matchups, okay? So my round 1 was against Crest Messiah. My opponent had to G-assist twice, unfortunately, that game, and so I just kind of steamrolled away with it. He did almost kind of close the gap when he OT'd me offensively on his stride turn on the Alter Ego while going into a Ballistus. So I got really scared because there was so much stuff going on, and I was like, dang, this is really bad. So he shredded a lot of my hand, but thankfully I had enough to just stride, go into the Katrina, and close the game out that way. But that was almost kind of taken from me, especially when like he healed on the 6 damage heal. I was like, oh, come on. But thankfully he didn't have enough cards in hand to guard the last 2 swings. So we'll take those. Round 2 was against D Police. He was able to rush him early, cruise there. Nothing really to talk about that matchup. Game 3 was against Spike Brothers from a member of Team Eclipse. So I got them pretty solidly. Just that was the only game that I remember really where Abrea mattered, where I used the G Asha effect and Abrea to make triple Hanali in the back row, so that way the Spikes brother really couldn't play. So out of triple Hanali, they can't really do anything. Then round 4 was against Sharanui, where my opponent missed the Crestmaker twice, G-assist and then the whiff, and so he just conceded. Very unfortunate too, just because I had a really solid token rush going already, so it was very hard for him to close that gap, especially in terms of tempo. And then round 5 was against Dimension Police. Took that game as well. Just my opponent Morgan didn't know that Eternity Chase had to reveal a normal unit grade 3 and not just a grade 3, so we kind of like missed the timing and was like really rushing then to find a die liner correctly. Thankfully he got it, and but I was able just to push him and close the game there. And then round 6 was against Sharanui, and I had enough cards in hand to technically guard everything, but I thought that if I called the Hanali off the Rene skill, that the dominated effect, like once it's done swinging, the effect would come back, and I forgot that the crest turns that off for the entire turn. So I did have a heal in hand to call it with the Rain Breath, which I should have done. So I just should have done on the Rene call 2 cards, G-Guard with this on the first swing, call the Hanli over the second Diamond Lane unit, and I think I could have lived out the turn because I was very close. But yeah, just very, very unfortunate like events there to finish there. And then round 7 was against Dimension Police, and Eldo Breath wins games. So unfortunate there, but it is what it is. Going into Top Cut 32, I had to play my round 7 opponent again, and he had Linkas when I only had Logas in hand, and so I just had to pray he didn't hit grade 3s, but of course he did, so unfortunate run end there. But I'm very thankful and happy about how this weekend went. I can't really be mad because most of my losses, besides my round 6, were just more so like luck-based or kind of events that were out of my control. So I can't really be mad about either of my games between round 7 and round 32. Just I wish I knew that ruling so that way I could have prepared myself better, because I kind of really guarded optimally into that turn, thinking the Hanali would come back to be saved extra. I was kind of playing greedy, just that way I could really know I could push for game. But yeah, that's really it in terms of that regard. Some things I do want to take away from this weekend is that Katrina is the best deck in the room. There was like nine of us that topped that day, as well as Gridora is really good when they don't see each other. There was a lot of Gridora on Sunday, but only 5 top, and shout out to Logan going undefeated in Swiss with the deck. I really respect Mega Colony. I think Mega Colony is a really good deck right now. I think it's the best anti-meta pick in a long time. But it's really hard, especially too. My thought process in taking Katrina was if I go 3-0, a lot of Mega Colony are X1, so I won't see them. So as long as I can dodge them in the first 3 rounds, I feel very comfortable just playing it out. And that's what happened. I dodged Mega Colony for the entire day and just lost to luck and variance. And that's fine. The thing, too, was I also think, though, that Night Rose needs to be re-examined, which I'll talk about, though, in my Night Rose deck profile. Only one Night Rose topped. I think factors of that can be contributed to the reasoning that there was a lot of Mega Colony in the room and that Night Rose takes a long time to play. So if your opponent slow plays you, or if your opponent has anything unfortunate happen to you, it's very hard to comfortably assume that that deck's going to be okay in time. And the deck also has some consistency issues in terms of, like, your opponent can really deny you getting going early. But I still think that deck has a really, really strong presence in terms of how to play the game. So there's my thoughts there. I also think, though, that we should begin to look at potentially some different options. I think Dimension Police, especially in a room full of Gridora, not a bad pick, because you always will have your reride more than not. So taking Dimension Police may not be a bad idea. As well, you may want to consider taking a few other things that are pretty safe, like Nova Grapplers is not bad. I can't remember if any topped, but the other cool thing that I took from this weekend is that there were 3 Highlander players that entered, and 2 of them topped. So Highlander has a pretty good carry so far right now, especially if it's their day, if they can kind of sack a little bit. So yeah, Highlander is really good. Shout out again, Connor, for topping with that deck. I'm sorry that our runs ended so early, because I know that we all wanted a bunch of KSC members up on that podium. But it was really cool to know half of top 8, and then the 5th person in top 8 being my round 7 and top 32 playoff opponent. So again, shout out to you all. But yeah, that's pretty much my weekend. The vlog video is coming up soon. Just wanted to post this little tournament, kind of recap. I'm going to do these for all my BCSs that I attend this year. Hopefully the next one I attend is Philly. Just got to get a final moved, but no worries on that, because I'm the scholar, so school comes first, you know what I'm saying, baby? But that is what it is. I just want to, again, take this time really quick just to shout out everybody that I met this weekend. It was really cool to, have you guys walk up to me and be like, oh my god, it's you, hey, and I'm like, sweet. And then, I had a few people come to me and talk to me about Great Nature, talk about how they rep Great Nature. So I may if I top for real, I may play Great Nature at one of the BCSs just for fun. I may do that in Tampa or Toronto. So one of the T states will get a Great Nature deck profile from Devlin Cassidy here. So no worries on that. But you guys made it so memorable. Again, thank you to Kingslayer and Dank Ritual for keeping me so equipped and so well prepared for these events. You guys are goated. And then shout out all my team members too, because without them, I wouldn't be playing this game. It's just so hands down. I was friends with them before I came on the team, and they're what make this community so fantastic. So I'm just so thankful that I get to be a part of, I think, one of the best cultures in the community, definitely for Kingslayer. So, and then of course, shout out Dual Spec too. My round 7 opponent does dice and stuff like that. So you may see some stuff from prototypes from them on the channel. So shout out to them. And then of course, shout out one of my homies up here, Jared, for coming with me to Georgia and going X3. But keep showing out that you're learning on the curve, bro. I'm really proud of you. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. I love you all. God bless and take care.